Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining in. I'll give you a brief about state management. The least important word here is Angular. But as I have worked on Angular more, we'll go through a generic strategy for state management, which can be used in Angular as well as other frameworks for state management at the end of the session. Also, feel free to question. So why we need to have a state management system? Be it any system, we cannot continuously send HTTP requests back and forth from the client to the server for fetching data on every screen change. We cannot continuously fetch updated data from the backend for minor changes. Hence, we need to maintain states at the client side such that we have an optimal number of HTTP requests sent. Consider we have a products catalog page with numerous products and we click on any one for viewing its details. Coming back to our products catalog, so here every catalog page visit should not accompany a HTTP call as the products are already loaded when we first visited the page, hence avoiding re-rendering of the page. Also, synchronization between the client and the server side plays a big role in managing the true data source and also ensures that the data at the client side is not outdated. Now we'll check out what are the types of states. What are the types of states? There are these types of state. I'll walk through one of them one by one. So there is a server state, which is basically a REST API endpoint state, from where the data is fetched. Uh, then there is persistent state, which is on the client side, and it is a replica of the server state. And it is basically a cache of server state. Then there is client side, that is the main app we have. Or we if we apply some filters to, I want every name which has an initial which is starting with A. So that is something we don't call it from backend. We already have a data. We just set a filter at the client side. So that's the client state. Then there is transient state. So transient state is basically I'm giving an example of it. Where when we switch off or turn off a video on YouTube, if we pause it or just switch a tab, or next time we come to that same video, it resumes from where we stopped. So basically, it is a transient client state. It is not stored in the URL or something. It is it is rendered from mostly, and or it is stored as a cache. Then there is local UI state. So local UI state is basically a component state. Be it some component, there's a if the component is drop down or something. So basically hiding the drop down or expanding it, that is the local UI state. And the URL state is basically the router state, which we set at the routing app routing module or something. Uh, it is suppose we have to navigate to a products page from catalog page. So basically we are changing a route. So this state is saved in URL. Any doubts? Uh, State synchronization. This is basically there are various strategies to synchronize the state. The server state and persistent state should be in sync so that we have same data sets at the client side as there are at the backend. And client state and URL state should match. So basically changing routes should match with the client state component. Yeah.
Apurva, can you go back one slide?
Yeah.
So the sync between the persistent server state is basically API. So persistent state is where we are saving in Angular, is it in the memory, Angular memory?
Yeah, it is not exactly Angular memory. It is saved as cache.
Which is managed by Angular.
Yeah. And the transient state is saved in cookies.
Okay, and okay, yeah.
Okay. So there are various strategies in Angular as well for the state management. Uh, that is component interaction via bindings. So there's an input binding and there's an output.
Your voice went away again.
Oh, okay. Mm, is it audible? Is it clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So component interaction via bindings. Basically, we have input decorators in Angular and output event emitters as well. Or we can have two-way bindings also. So this is one method for state managing a variable or something or a particular thing which you have to manage a state of. Then there is observable data service, which is using RxJS. RxJS is basically a library. It uses observables and basically it is a replacement of promises. It uses observable data services. And there's a Redux pattern with RxJS. Uh, RxJS is something, suppose it you have a variable which you have to subscribe to so that you get the change if there's any change in the variable also. Then there is ngrx and ngxs, which are libraries built on Redux pattern only. These are basically Angular libraries which we can use for state management. I'll give a generic example. I'll take a generic example of Redux patterns. So basically, how and what Redux is, how does it work? The most important thing in state management is separating the state management services and computation with the basically separating our services with the state management system. They, that should not be a one thing. Uh, this is a data flow in Redux. So what happens is this is the component which is the template view of our which has a template view of anything we have to change or like manage state of. If we change anything here in the template view, so action is dispatched. The action is given to the reducer. Reducer will give its new state. So everything in Redux is predefined. I'll just take an example of it right now. Suppose it we have an action which is if we have to manage a state of a to-do list. So basically we have an action which is add to do, and it has type add to do and it has a text. Then there's action creator, which dispatches the actions which we have to perform to change the state. uh, so here what it is doing is add to do with dispatch action. action is has an input of the application, but consider it a button or something. If we have to change a state of a button, so we'll dispatch a action, which is then given to the store. It is passed through reducer. So reducer is basically it takes input of the current state, that is the initial state, and the action we have to perform on that. So this is a normal to-do app reducer, which is taking this initial state and action, and it is assigning some action.text, which we'll change here, right? This is basically the change we want right now, and completed false. And if it doesn't recognize what action it is, it will just simply return the initial state. And the main motive of using taking an example of Redux is it is one-way unidirectional data flow. And so here we can only see one store, which is storing the current state of the variable, and also giving the new state. So there's only one source of truth for the data. Then we have selector in Redux. Selector is basically observable, which we subscribe in the component. Selector works as an observable basically, and the component subscribes to that observable through like taking a observer. This is a simple create store for the Redux app. Any doubts? Any questions? Am I audible?
Yes. No questions.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it from my side. If you have any doubts, you can come up, like we can discuss it.
So you said there are multiple ways to manage the states, right?
Yeah.
If you can go back to that slide where we had that option. No, let it be in this way only.
Yeah.
Components, interaction via bindings, observable, and then Redux pattern. So we right now just saw the Redux pattern, right?
Yeah.
Can you give a brief about the first two?
First two, okay. Okay, so in Angular we have @input decorators, if anyone is aware of it. And basically in Angular there's a input and output bindings we do with a for a variable, so that we get to know its state. If it's like taking an example of ARIA hidden or ARIA expanded for a drop down. So we are binding that. And there are event emitters in Angular which we use while binding.
So event is basically a drop down has collapsed or you have closed the drop down. That's an event, right?
It's a action only we are firing. Event is basically an action we are firing. It is same as Redux pattern only, but then there's no store in it. We are not storing its state somewhere.
Okay. So the store and persistent state and what all we have seen, right? That is specific to Redux or it's an Angular thing?
This is it is not even an Angular thing. It is generalized with all the apps, with all the frameworks. Like all frameworks have a backend. We use Node as a backend right now, so that's a server state. That is the API endpoint. Then all this is at the client side, which is common for all frameworks. It is not specific to Angular.
Okay. Okay, the next one. The first one is event based, you are saying, right?
Yeah.
Based on the event, we
Limiters.
use annotations to bind the actions to the processing and data manipulation functions.
Yeah.
Okay. So observable is
Data
subscribe.
Yeah. Subscribe, and it is basically a replacement for promises and callbacks. So if we want suppose it there is a button which you have to click. So click event will display a text clicked. For that, we need to make a observable, and we need to subscribe it to the click event.
Okay.
Yeah. So in that case, whenever we click a button, a text will be displayed as click as the event is emitted, and our observer is basically catching it.
So is there a difference in Angular between event management and data services, or they are the same?
Data services. Okay.
Yeah. So we are here saying observable data services, right? And
Yeah.
the example we are taking is a button click, which is an event where something is changing.
Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat, Rahul?
So I don't know Angular, right? So treat me like a novice here. So basically, event button clicked, right?
Huh.
On which we are, let's say, showing an alert.
Okay.
So that's an event management thing. But fetching a data from somewhere is a data service. So are they both same and can be used in an observable or no?
No, here the example I gave is displaying a text. We are not binding our event to button click. Basically, there's an event which is fired when the button is clicked, and our observer is observing that and then showing a text. So these are both different.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any questions?
No.
Okay. So thank you everyone for joining in. If you have any doubts, you can ping me on Slack as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Okay.
Apurva, just stop.
Bye-bye.
Sorry?
Don't forget to stop the recording and save it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah.